Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please make sure that you make the things happen so you can get notified every time I drop a new video. Oh my god, we are back with another episode, and this time around I'm not working. I'm not working. I haven't like touched anything. I haven't done anything since Best of the Best. Simply because I just wanted to do this video. I said I was gonna do the video of it's basically a video of me explaining why Jin Bao is kind of like the future of ASE right now, because I really want to do videos like this one, because obviously like when I book matches and whatsoever, there are times where I'm like, I have plans for this guy, I have plans for this guy, and I end up doing the things I'm supposed to do, but then I don't explain like the reason behind it. And I'm going to start off with why like I've been like building Jin Bao since I started the channel. And oh flip, yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to say I forgot something. I wanted to thank everyone for watching, because January 2026, not January 2026, 2026 is basically like a full year of just booking and putting up stuff on the channel and on the Instagram page. And I've been getting advices, I've been getting messages, people telling me that I should do pay-per-views, telling me that I should do more co-posters like the ones I put up, people telling me, that the names of the pay-per-views are cool, and what I have going on here, it's pretty much cool. And the average number of people watching this is crazy, man. Like average, like when I put up a video and people who are like literally like up, just they're literally just up just to listen to me go around and just talking stuff. But yeah, man, I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate it a lot, because I just started this channel as a thing where it's like, hey, I'm just sharing my universe, and people have been motivated by that. I see on the Reddit that other people have that crazy stuff going on, crazier than what I have right here. So I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, let's get to why we're here. You know, so man, when I looked at Jin Bao for the first time, man, it took me a long while to look at him and be like, this is the guy I think I like a lot, because I believe like when I got the game, I was just looking at the avatars, and man, shout out to the person who did the avatars, killed it. If it's the developer, man, if it's the developer that that made the RVs, I don't know what to say, because I like to believe that there's someone else who helped them with the RVs, but if it's him, damn it, you know. But yeah, I looked at the RVs and they were pretty cool guys. Alex White was cool, but then I felt I did not like him because I felt like he was gonna be overrated. I feel like people who are gonna get the game are going to like Alex White a lot. Azul Furia, and I think the other one was Spencer Vincent. I like those guys. I like those guys. And when I started the game, I had my guys. I had your Azul. I had your Alex White. I had your Spencer and your Grainer, right? When I started the game, I had my own guys, right? So it took me a while to it took me a while to sit down, like notice someone like Jin Bao and like just go with, just flow, just work around. Sorry, it took me a while to recognize Jin Bao and just work around, because what actually like led me to look at the guy, is when I started the game. Obviously, like when you start the game, like you have your guys, like the guys that you book back to back. Like when you book them, like it's guaranteed bangers. When you book them, it's guaranteed bangers. And it's one of those guys, like if they're not on the show, it's gonna be a bad day. So it was around that time. Where I was just like working with the guys I like. And I think after like a few pay-per-views, I was like, flip, That's when like when I was working around the pay-per-views, I was like, flip, we need other people we can work around, because obviously like I'd have these cool matches, these stipulations, and their bars would go down. That's when like I noticed the bars going down, and I was like, flip, if these guys aren't able to work, who's gonna step in, because obviously like I did say that I had your Alex White, I had your Spencer Vincent, I had your Garrett Grainer, I had your Azul Furia. Like those were my Those were my guys. Like, it's not an episode without those guys, right? And when they would get hurt, I'd be like, oh flip, who do we book? You know. So I was like, okay, who's gonna like fill in now? Who's gonna fill in? We need guys who are gonna fill in. And the guys that crossed my mind Jordan Porter, were Jordan Porter, Mustafa Vaisi, Jin Bao, and Scott Ringer. Okay, Scott Ringer, I think when I started the game, Scott Ringer was already a main event. I think it was. I'm trying to look for someone. I think it was Mike Mayhew. Those were the guys I was like, okay, cool. I think these guys need to fill in, like whenever like my guys are not doing good, or whenever like my guys are off, right? So those were the guys I had in mind, just to step in. I started to work around them, right? I started to work around them, and they were doing good. Porter was just giving me bangers every week, and Jinba was just like giving me like your average, I was still working on him. Did I mention Paxton Payne? I hope I did mention Paxton Payne. He gave me like good matches, and Mike May, he gave me like good matches, but I did not like Mike Mayhew's appearance then. But they gave me like good matches, right? So those were the guys I went with. Those were the guys I was like, okay, cool. These guys are gonna fill in, and that's where everything basically started. I used these guys for a period of time, and they were all doing good. And Jin Bao was like needed something, Jin Bao needed something. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm pushing Porter, I'm pushing Paxton Payne, I'm pushing Mike Mayhew. Let's push Jin Bao. Let's push Jin Bao. Let's see what we can do. Let's push Jin Bao. Like, let's push him. Okay, let's push Jin Bao, and that's when everything started. Because I did say that Porter was doing good. He was having segments with Garrett Grainer. Mike Mayhew, I forgot what Mike Mayhew was doing, but he was just good. He was just like good. He was filling in. That's what he was doing. He was filling in. Paxton Payne was good. He was a good guy. He was like he was that young guy who were like, one day he's gonna be world champion. He's that guy who was like working in and out. I'd put him in multi person matches, and he would not give me a problem. Jinba was one person I was like, okay, we need to make this work. And it was Mustafa Vaisi. I forgot to mention Mustafa Vaisi. Mustafa Vaisi was one person who I was working around. Mustafa Vaisi he only gave me a problem like in the beginning, but then when Goatsugura came in, when I signed Goatsugura, it was easy to work. It was easy to work around, right? Because I made sure that Mustafa Vaisi plays with your Goatsuguras. So I pressed the button on Jin Bao, and man, it was bad. It was bad. What episode was it? Was it? Oh my god, I forgot. It has to be Worst Nightmare 2020. Was it around Worst Nightmare 2021? It has to be. I think. Oh flip. I think it was. Yeah. I think it has to. It has to be this one. If it's not this one, I'm gonna be mad. Oh, it's not. It's not. It's not. I'm looking at. What was it? Worst Nightmare 2020? That's something. Oh yeah, it was. So I had this match. It was him versus Porter. I got 73, and I changed my mind. For some weird reason, I changed my mind. I could not. I was not looking at having 70s back to back, right? And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys. Let's not run with Jin Bao. Just a week later, he lost the cruiserweight championship. We're like, I don't think Jin Bao is the guy, man. I don't think Jin Bao is the guy, because Porter was doing well when it comes to like segments. He was doing well. So I was like, I flip. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Jin Bao, we tried to work around Jin Bao, and nothing seems to be working. I even forgot. I had to, before recording this, I had to check like when the match. I had to check like the match. because I wrote here Jin Bao won his first Cruiserweight Championship early 2020 in a forgettable episode of AAC, receiving bad feedback from media. Jin Bao was drawn in a few. Okay, cool. So that's what I wrote. It was bad around that time. It felt so bad around that time. And I was like, nah, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. And I think after that match, I did not use him for like almost a year because I wrote here Jin Bao was drawn in a feud with Porter, Mike Mayhew, Bullseye, and Yogi Balboni for the Cruiserweight title after being shelved the whole of 2021. So after that win, he had the week before Worst Nightmare. I just gave up on him and never used him again, right? And around 2021, I was like, okay, we need something, man. Around 2021, we're doing good. AEC was doing good, but there was like, we need to build someone. We need to build more people. We need to build Yogi Balboni. We need to build Bullseye. We need to build more people. And Porter and Mayhew were like carrying at that point, right? So I was like, we need to build more people, and I added Jin Bao. So we had this feed where it was Jin Bao, Porter, Mike Mayhew, Bullseye, and Yogi Balboni. Just to work around, just to give him a second chance. And I think he earned a title shot at the Best of the Best pay-per-view against Guerrero, where he won his second mid-card championship. And when he won his second cruiserweight championship, everything was good. I was like, okay, maybe I took the title away from him way too quick. That's when we're starting to cook. That's when we're like, okay, what can we do with Jin Bao? Like, where are we going? And I think it only lasted like a few. Did I say Best of the Best, right? 2021 Best of the Best. Let me see what we had there. Let's see what we had then. 2021 Best of the Best. What did we have? Okay, we had that. I'm trying to see. I did not feature the Cruiserweight Championship a lot. He was cooking. I did not feature the Cruiserweight Championship a lot. 2020, 2021. I did not feature the Cruiserweight Championship in the pay-per-views because I was afraid of the ratings. I was afraid that the ratings would go down. So he only held it for 2 months, which is not bad. But then I think it was his dead reign. I wrote it down. I think it was his dead reign where everything worked out, right? Sorry, let me try and read here. Okay, yeah, it was his dead reign that made the AC Universe call him the future of the Cruiserweight division. And yeah, he's been pushed to the moon since. So his dead reign came when Spencer Van Zandt decided to, be his manager. I think that was around the time Goya Tsukuda and Mustafa Vaisi. Was it around the time Goya Tsukuda and Mustafa Vaisi got kicked out of the corporate ladder? Because the corporate ladder started with Adam Sawyer and Mustafa. Adam Sawyer left, and he was replaced with Goya Tsukuda. So Spencer Van Zandt got rid of Adam Sawyer, who's the face of AC, and put Goya Tsukuda, who's the face of the PGPX, right? So perfect replacement. It was a cool move. It was a cool move back then. So I think this was around the time Mustafa Vaisi and Goya Tsukuda were drawn out of the corporate ladder, and Spencer Van Zandt was like, Spencer Van Zandt was just like scouting talent. He was just like scouting talent, people he can build, and he found Jin Bao because Jin Bao was basically, to him, he was basically the combination of. He was basically a combination of Goya Tsukuda and Mustafa Vaisi at the same time, and Mustafa Vaisi, right? So the reason why I say this is because look how they look at Mustafa Vaisi's face, his hair, and his beard. Then look at Mustafa Vaisi, right? Did I say Mustafa Vaisi twice? I don't know. Look at Jin Bao's RV and look at Mustafa Vaisi's RV. They look similar, they have black hair, and they have small similarities. They have small similarities, you know, and so it was basically Jin Bao had basically the look of, he looked like a little bit like Mustafa Vesi. At the same time, he was like he's been at PGPX. PGPX is where Gotsukura is from. So Jin Bao was the right person for the corporate ladder. He was the guy. He was like the combination of Gotsukura and Mustafa, and it was like, okay, now that I've worked around Jin Bao, let Spencer like push him, because it was like Spencer is still the pillar of ASE. So if you're around someone like Spencer, like the recognition, like there's a lot of things that come with being associated with people like Spencer, especially like when I started the game, because you could be associated with Alex White and gain nothing from that. You could be associated with Scott Ringer and get nothing from that. But when you were associated with Spencer Van Zandt, like everything you did was gold. Like the matches, like the feuds, like the segments, everything you did was gold. So yeah, man, that's it. That's basically it. And it felt so perfect because the plan was, okay, here's the plan. The plan was to build the next Spencer Van Zandt. We needed to build a Spencer Van Zandt Jr. We needed to build Spencer's mini him. Spencer needed to build to Spencer needed a mini him, someone who's gonna take over when he's not around. Because I believe that in a wrestling company, you need to have your top heel and your top baby face, right? You're gonna have your top heel and top baby face, and with the rising stars, you are playing with the rising stars, and in the rising with your rising stars, like when you're working around your rising stars, they too, you're looking for your next top heel, you're looking for your next top baby face, right? It's kind of like your John Cena versus Orton, your what is this? John Cena, Orton, Austin, The Rock, Roman Reigns, Brock, or Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I don't know. But that was the plan. That was the plan. Spencer Van Zandt was trying to create the next top heel, because I think around the time the corporate ladder was created, the top babyface was Adam Sawyer, right? So we needed someone who's gonna the top babyface was Adam Sawyer, but the person who was running ASE was Spencer Van Zandt, right? So Spencer Van Zandt was smart. He was smart. He was like, I'm not gonna be around. I'm not gonna be here for a long time. I might as well, I might as well like work on someone's gonna take over. Someone's gonna take over, and Jin Bao is the perfect fit. Storyline wise, when it comes to storyline, no, not storyline wise. What am I saying? The corporate ladder, right? Obviously, it started. I did say this. It started with Adam Sawyer, Mustafa Vesi, and Spencer Van Zandt, and the aim was to push Mustafa Vesi, right? Adam Sawyer left. Spencer brought in Goitsugura. He brought in Goitsugura and Azul, and the plan was, okay, we're gonna make we have to choose between Mustafa Vesi and Goitsugura. Goitsugura was supposed to be the next top heel, but then I feel like he was too established he was way too established to work around, in that manner, because it's impossible to make a duplicate of someone when it's impossible to try to make someone copy someone when they're too established. They already have their thing going on, so it's impossible to do that. So it was kind of like tricky. It was like, okay, we need to push God to Gouda, but then he's too established. We can't make him the next Spencer Van Zandt when he is God to Gouda, So it was like a thing where it's like, okay, we're thinking of God to Gouda. Mustafa Vesi, we're not sure, and when it comes to this, when it comes to like storyline wise, I made sure that God to Gouda and Mustafa Vesi leave the corporate ladder because it was not clicking. Jin Bao entered and he was the perfect fit. So that was the plan. We need ASE needs a top hill, needs the next top hill. We are 7 years in. We need the next top hill. So yeah, I did say that Jin Bao is the future of ASE because we need like the next top hill, right? And what I did not mention is that the reason why we couldn't I couldn't work around God to Good and Mustafa Vesi is because we need a baby face. We need a baby face. That's one of the reasons why it didn't work, right? Because God to Good was well established. Mustafa Vesi was not taken seriously as a heel, you know, because I think he lost a lot of matches. There are matches where he was just killing it, like straight up. There are matches where it's like, can this guy fill in Spencer Van Zandt's shoes? I don't think so, right? So we need a baby face. That's why if you have watched the videos, there are times where I was like, where I'm like low key teasing Jin Bao versus God to Good. There are times where I'm teasing that, right? I even think there was a time where they faced each other for the first time in the tournament finals. I think it's the tournament finals or something like that. Yeah. So that's that. I feel like the company needs to have a top heel, needs to have a top baby face. So that's the reason why Jin Bao is the future of ASE. The other reason is we need someone who's gonna elevate the new generation. We need someone. Okay, saying new generation is kind of like a reach, but then you know what it's kind of like something. Saying new generation is kind of like saying something because these people, when you look at this, these people's ages, it's something else. But we need someone who's gonna lead, who's gonna like basically elevate the new generation, which is your Cameron Cole, which is your Davy Geller, which is your who am I looking at? Gonzo Marine, Corbett, Jackson Barlow, Masato, Mike May. I'm adding Mike Mayhew because he's gonna play a huge role here. Paxton Payne, Penn Wilson, Porter, Raiden Tashiro. We need someone who's gonna elevate those guys, who's gonna like be some sort of like catalyst, who's gonna be like the will that helps Rising Stars make it to the main event picture. What is it? The world title picture. I mean, not the main event picture, but it is. I think it is the same thing. We need someone who's gonna play that part, because you know why I'm saying this. Spencer Van Zandt. I'm not sure if it's in. I said this like a few minutes ago, but then Spencer Van Zandt is the guy that when you work with, everything turns into gold, right? So Spencer Van Zandt, during his time in ASE, he helped the guys who were like rocking in his era. He helped those guys be over. He helped guys like Alex White. Alex White was so close to becoming the guy. Like when I started the game, he was so close to becoming the guy. And Spencer Van Zandt helped him, be over. He helped Azul Furia be over. He helped who else? Who else am I forgetting here? He helped Garrett Grainer be over. He helped a lot of guys be over. And let me see if I can get some matches here. A lot of guys be over. He helped a lot of guys become main eventers, right? So there's so much Spencer Van Zandt can do, during his run, because he spent like most of his time helping his peers get over, and there are times where like he would look at Rising Stars and be like, okay, I want to work with you, and those are like people like Mustafa Vesi, right? So those are people like Mustafa Vesi, those are people like Colt Brewer. There are times where it's like, I want to help you. Let's see what we can do, you know. So that's one thing. And Spencer Van Zandt is basically passing that, I don't know if I should say ability, or but he's passing that thing of making people over to Jin Bao. Remember, we're building like a mini Spencer Van Zandt. Spencer Van Zandt helps people like be over. So we need the guy who's gonna help the younger generation be over. I feel like we can't do that with Goetsuguda because there's so much you can do with like a babyface, sub babyface, right? So we need someone who's gonna be a heel. We need someone who already knows the new generation, who's familiar with the new generation. Remember, Jin Bao spent a lot of time. He spent 6 years in the cruiserweight division, so he basically fought everyone he basically fought everyone who signed to ASE. So that's the reason why Jin Bao is kind of like the future, because he's like a mini Spencer Van Zandt, right? Spencer Van Zandt puts people over, right? So he's passing that to Jin Bao. Jin Bao being the person who's familiar with the new generation, and Jin Bao is already familiar with people like Davy Geller. So when he works with Davy Geller this time, Davy Geller is automatically in the world title picture. When Jin Bao works with Sean Estrada is already in the world title picture. When Jin Bao works with I'm looking for Paxton Payne is already in the picture. When he works with, that's the thing. It works well. It works well because I would have done it with Goetsuguda, but Goetsuguda went in the world title picture way too fast, and he didn't really like get the time to connect with the rising stars, right? So putting Goetsuguda up and making him elevate rising stars, it's gonna take time. We will have to do it we're gonna have to focus on one person at a time. Whereas with Jin Bao, you can put Davy Geller, Paxton Payne, and Penn Wilson in an angle, and automatically, because they are linked with Jin Bao, they're in the world title picture just like that. So that's one of the reasons why I was sitting on this. I was trying to make Jin Bao work. I made him win the battle royal and all that stuff. So yeah, I did say the plan is, the reason I gave Jin Bao the world title is because I want to elevate a lot of guys, right? There are a lot of guys who have been down there for a long time, to a point where it's like we need to put them up, right? And those are your rising stars, and it's not only rising stars, it's also people who have never held a world championship before, and most of the people who have never held the championship before were involved in a fatal mistake ladder match. I've said for Goetsuguda. Sorry, we're involved here. So the plan is to build these guys, Paxton Payne, Derek DeRossi, Alf Hugo, Donatos, because I feel like I don't have to build this. I don't have to build this, because it already built itself. Donatos is one person I've been working on the side. I've been trying to make him look I've been trying to make him look legit, and I think he has the highest ranking or something like that, right? No, let's not look at that. Yeah, all time. I've been making sure that it looks credible, right? So I've been building him on the side to a point where it's I made sure that he has something with Jin Bao, right? In the fatal mistake ladder match, he was so close to winning a title opportunity against Brendan Judge, who was champion around that time last year. So that's that. I've been building Thanatos is even like at the top. I've been building Thanatos on the side, and I made sure that it has something with Jin Bao, so we can revisit that. Jin Bao has history with Derek DeRossi when Jin Bao was teaming up with Mustafa Vaisi and Derek DeRossi was teaming up with Sean Estrada. There's something there. I didn't have to build it. Tyson Payne and Jin Bao have a history because in the cruiserweight division, when Jin Bao was in the cruiserweight division, they used to titles used to change hands a lot. So I didn't have to build anything on that. Who am I forgetting? El Fugo. El Fugo is one person people have been wanting to see carry a world title. And the fact that El Fugo was once in the corporate ladder with Jin Bao and Azul Furia, I don't need to build anything. Already I have 4 guys I can build just off Jin Bao. So that is the plan. There's a lot of guys who have a story with Jin Bao, but for now I'm just gonna start with Garrett Grainer because Garrett Grainer is the number 1 contender, and yeah, that's that. I'm gonna tell you everything. I'm gonna tell you the history between Jin Bao and Garrett Grainer, but that doesn't matter. But that's the plan. The plan is to make people shine. A lot of rising stars or the future of AAC shine. Have that moment with Jin Bao because he's basically the leader of the wave. He was the leader. He was the cornerstone of the cruiserweight division, where a lot of people found themselves. People like Mike Mayhew found themselves. People like Porter found themselves and whatsoever. So he's gonna play a huge part in making stars that have never won a world title win a world title.